Hello, my name is Marquise Dion Cotton, and this is assignment 3 dealing with resources and stakeholders for my project. One of my primary stakeholders in this project will be the Nike company, and I chose Nike because their main slogan on this ad is how we stand up for equality. In my previous class, I studied the persuasive tactics of how Nike used the social justice initiative of Colin Kaepernick. Also, I chose Nike as a primary stakeholder because they just recently signed a partnership deal with the NFL for jerseys and apparel, and they extended their contract. So I'm pretty sure Nike will be I'm pretty sure Nike will be a good choice for a primary stakeholder to invest into this project. Nike has made commitments to invest into the community just recently over $40 million to commit to social justice. One of my secondary stakeholders will be the NFL Justice Initiative Committee. And this committee compiles of players and owners in all different cities. But for this specific project, I would target the players from the Washington Redskins football team. Some of the human resources we will use will be from the Players Coalition, maybe some still active players and some retired. One of my favorite players who's retired, Dexter Manley. He does a lot of good work in the community with Second Genesis. Physical resources, I would definitely need access to FedEx Field, and FedEx Field will be the location for this up and coming general election in November. Some of the permits related to the stakeholders will be the Prince George's County Board of Elections and also the Maryland Stadium Authority. How will I attract these resources? I will consult with these organizations. Some of these organizations are already involved in previous projects. I will also use a combination of media and word of mouth on different social media platforms to other community leaders and religious gatherings to get the word of mouth out. My key stakeholders in this particular project are the government officials and policymakers, and that starts with the governor of Maryland, Larry Hogan, and also the county executive for Prince George's County, Angela Alsabrook, and also Alicia Alexander, who is the Board of Elections Administrator. How will you manage these stakeholders? I have learned to use this 4-quadrant measurement model, and it basically explains whether if the stakeholder has a high influence or a low influence, and it breaks it down into 4 different labels of promoters, defenders, apathics, and Latins. One of the intangible resources for this project is definitely the goodwill of the NFL Social Justice Initiative. They have 4 key areas today that are in their mission statement, and for this specifically project, it's definitely dealing with community relations and equality. The second resource is the intellectual property of the NFL jerseys, and we would definitely need permission from Nike and the NFL for this project to proceed. The brand for this specific project will be the Washington Redskins jerseys in particular, and as I explained, the team just changed their logo, so all of the Washington Redskins fans want, new jerseys and apparel, and they're running a special where you can get your favorite player, whether active or retired. You can even get your name on the back of the jersey. Some of the management and support that I will need on this project definitely comes from the Redskins front office, and one of the main personnel that I'm definitely going to need is Scott Shepard, who is the Senior Vice President of Courting a Partnership, and Mr. Leon Duncan, who is the Senior Vice President of Hospitality and Entertainment. I would send an in-house entrepreneurship proposal package to follow the proper protocol and policy and procedure to all of the heads of these departments with my project. Some of the optional resources that we're going to definitely need is the security directing the traffic and the parking, and also the health testers out there testing the temperatures of the consumers coming to vote, and also purchase new Redskins team apparel. Things that I learned from this assignment is definitely how to identify a stakeholder. And the main thing that I found in identifying a stakeholder for this project is social change. Social change is an effective to improve racial harmony, could alter social climate for members of both racially and ethnically minority and majority. The reason I learned why to identify the interests of the stakeholders is to get a better understanding of their perspectives from all sectors and elements of the community that's affected. It creates a bridge social capital for the community. It increases the credibility of your organization. It also increases the chance for your success and your effort. I also learned that there are primary stakeholders, secondary stakeholders, and key stakeholders. Stakeholder analysis and stakeholder mapping is the main metric tool that I had to use in getting a better understanding of my stakeholders. Stakeholders of an effort are those who have vested their interest in it. either as those who have developed and conducted it or those whom it affects directly or indirectly. I have identified and involved stakeholders can be a large part of ensuring the effort's success. In order to gain stakeholder participation and support, it is best to understand not only who potential stakeholders are, but the nature of their interest and effort. With me learning and understanding this, I was able to invite them out and address their concerns and demonstrate how this event will benefit them. Managing these stakeholders, keeping them involved and supportive, made it easier for my stakeholder analysis. With this project, any community building activity work with stakeholders has to continue for the long term in order to obtain the level of participation and support that I need for a successful event.